Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Yeah. Jones. Hey. Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams, and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help.
All right, good afternoon, Las Vegas. Wednesday. That's right, high noon. We're excited to be back in the studio once again. This is what we do every Wednesday right here at hot702.5fm.com. Greg Deville, the wealth builder, the real estate broker right here in the Las Vegas Valley, the name you need to know. We are excited today. We have a couple guests in the studio, and we want to talk about some of the great things expected for 2026. I know many of you are getting ready for the holiday season, and I want you to have fun and don't overspend. Those of you, we got 2026 right around the corner. I want to make sure that we have some money to go into the new year. Is that right? Very exciting, very exciting. We're going to be starting a 2026 homeownership campaign. We want to see many of you this year. You didn't get 2025. Very challenging year, I must say, but we want to make sure that 2026 is much better for you. Now, credit might be an issue. I want you to this year, let's make a covenant with ourselves, right? You know, we make promises to people. Let's make a promise to ourselves this year that, you know, we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna make sure that we're getting home ownership. As many of you know, when you pay rent, you're paying a mortgage. You're just paying it for someone else. We want to do what we can. This administration has been very strange, to say the least. We know that funds that were allocated for one use have been transferred for other purposes. However, we still have money available for many of you that would be considered a first-time home buyer. I always want to focus on getting those first-timers. Everybody needs a great start, and if that's you, I want you to reach out to me, contact me via social platform. I'm Greg Deville everywhere. Greg Deville everywhere. I want to hear from you. Many of you that are, just been renting for many, many years. If you've been renting for the last 3 years, although you've owned a home before, you are, as you know, a first-time home buyer, so we want to help you with that. I have a good friend, a lender who works with me. You know, I use about 9 different lenders, everybody. You know, no one person is set in stone with Deville Realty Group. And we want to make sure that we're helping everybody. This lender today, she's not new to the platform. She's been around a while. She has been in the game a good 10, 12 years. I've been working with her for about the last 8 years. Young lady, very knowledgeable in the business, very creative, will help you figure out how to get it done. You know, because when you're buying a home, many times you run into hiccups, setbacks, challenges, but one thing a great lender can do is muzzle around it. Recently, we're working on a deal right now. Her company couldn't help the client because this other company had more advantages for that client. She referred the deal to the next lender, and you got to say something to a person like that about their work ethic and wanting to get the deal done. Even if she couldn't do the deal, she was able to refer it to somebody who had a better policy at their company. 2 different branches, 2 different companies, but she was able to help. And she's still helping us to, when little things come up, she's right there. So let me introduce to some others that may not know my good friend, Christina Graham with Barrett Financial. Good afternoon, Christina.
Good afternoon. Good
How
afternoon.
are
So
you
happy to
today?
be here.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So happy to be here.
Always good
I've
to
been
have you
good.
be on the studio.
I've been good.
Good. We're excited about, this new year. I have great expectations for many. And I just hope I don't have greater expectations than people do, right? Because I'm so excited for everybody, right? As you are, because you love helping people and being resourceful and getting things done. And that's great. I know you heard me talking about you, giving you kudos, right?
I appreciate you, Greg. I know you're supporters.
Yeah, right. I'm your cheerleader on this thing, man, because I know you have a passion for people. Even if you can't do it, Christina, thank you for Charlene Perez. You gave Charlene the deal. You say, hey, look, Charlene has a better program that can help where she's at. And so a big shout out to you. That's wonderful. And thank you for coming to our Friendsgiving at the house. We had so much fun. Did you have fun, Christina? I think you did say you had fun.
I did. It was a good time.
Yes. So I have in studio with us a gentleman you met at the you've been to a couple of our festivities at the house. And my good friend, Mr. Mark McGee is in the studio with us, everybody. My good friend. I like to call Mark my lake buddy. We have boats on the lake, and so we hang out for days. He's worse than me, maybe. He's we're competitive with our time and giving it to the lake. We don't every moment we got. Mark, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's good, brother.
It's peace. Lake is peace,
the
man.
lake is peace, man.
That's it. Competitive with peace.
Like who can stay the longest? He like, well, I got to go back. I'm like, I got to go. So, yeah. But no, he's just. We were on another project, and I said, you know what? I got a show at 12, man. Come be my guest. He said, what we gonna talk about? I'm like, 2026. So what's your expectation, Christina, for 2026? What are you looking to do as you're, aspiring through this lending market? What are you looking to do?
I'm looking to excite more buyers into the marketplace. I feel like right now buyers are a little scared.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're waiting for this big rush when it comes towards like interest rates to decrease. And the thing is to really buy now.
Yeah.
Purchase prices and the deals right now are on the table, and because the sellers are a lot more incentivized in regards to giving credits, because it is a buyer's market. You don't want to wait until it's saturated with a lot more buyers. What's going to happen? Purchase prices will go up, and seller incentives will go down. Right. So I want to bring to the table is basically is to let buyers know that it's better to buy now versus waiting. There's a little bit of a Oh, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry. I think
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so basically when we're taking buyers into the marketplace, and whether that's them down payment assistance or them just needing a bit of understanding the process.
We're having a little issue with hearing the clarity. How's your Wi-Fi? Is that looking pretty good for you over there?
Oh, maybe that's
something's beeping. Is that you? So just to reiterate what you're saying is that in 2026, most of the buyers, as we know, we're in a buyer's market. So those of you who are not familiar where we are right now in the industry, in the market, we're in a buyer's market, meaning I just closed the deal today. Watch this. The lady got the house literally. Well, it's a guy. Actually, it's a guy. It's a single guy. He got the house with no money down. All his closing costs were covered. Literally, he paid a $1,500 EMD, earnest money deposit, and he's going to get that back. So he got a home in Henderson with zero out of pocket. And that's the kind of market we're in today, is that if you'll take care of your credit, at least have a 560, 580. Have some money saved. If you don't have the 401k, if you don't qualify for the program, have $10,000, $15,000. Guess what? We can get you into a home, get the closing costs covered. Now, $15,000 to get you about a $400,000 home. In North Las Vegas, those homes are pretty large out there. You know, wouldn't you agree, Christina? You can get a 4-bedroom home, you know, low 400s.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now. Exactly. Yeah. Right now. My audio's off a little bit on my side.
Okay.
But I
get no problem. We'll just continue. Okay. So, Mark, tell me about 2026 on your radar, man. What are you looking at? What are you thinking about?
Man, I'm trying not to get older.
Okay.
I'm going to, but it's inevitable.
Yeah,
but
right.
2026, man. We got some really good things going on in my community. I'm in the health community, of course.
Right.
Golden Life Wellness. We're in Texas and Vegas, and we're looking to expand even bigger. We're just going bigger, man. Just taking some of the things that we're dealing with today and addressing it as a health company instead of as an individual. Just every man out there for himself. So, we have some really good projects going on. Revolutionizing health. Taking health and making it affordable to every home. And we've added some new. I mean, we've been in the making. We've been open with this project, which is called our project Pre-Med.
Okay.
We've been in pre-med for roughly 5 years now, but we've added some new stuff to it. We've added some immigration assistance.
Okay.
Quite a few things that we've added recently, and I'm just really excited about where we're going and what we're trying to do for the community and helping them. And excelling in that direction.
Yeah. There you go. So that's good, man. And I enjoy the fact that you have a projection for your 2026. You're not just going in, you have an idea of where you're going, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what Christina and I deal with in this industry, is helping people to figure out where to go. They got a job, they work every day, but they go home to a rental. And so we're trying to help families get into ownership,
right?
And your services in health, right? We want people in good health. Right.
It helps to buy a home.
It helps to buy a home, get you in good health. Right. Christina, can you hear us well? You back? We got you back now?
I think so. How about that? Is that better
there
on
you
your
go.
side? Is that better on your side?
Yeah, there you go. Sounds great. So we want to talk about even too, Christina, we were discussing earlier about having people with credit challenges. And this year making a commitment to themselves, right? That, they're going to work on this credit, right? We know that the country has had to shut down and things were those 30 days. Did you think about, Christina, when they had to shut down and people couldn't get paid? So they didn't pay their bills, but they got a ding on the credit, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. If that bill isn't paid, then the 30 days over to the credit bureaus, whether you're generating income or not.
So people that had an idea for a home equity line of credit, you can't have a late in 30 days in 1 year, right? Is that the scenario for that type of HELOC? Is that what they're looking for?
Generally, they do want you to have a clean payment history in the last 12 months. If it's not like your mortgage. So if it's like credit cards or something smaller, maybe we can kind of speak by on that. But if it's a mortgage late, that's when it gets a little bit tricky. But for those that we can approve from a home equity line of credit, if you own a house, and you have equity in your property, you can
right.
out a portion of that equity without having to touch your first position with your mortgage.
Right.
So if you had those low rates back in COVID time, maybe you're in the twos, don't have to touch that first mortgage payment. Right?
Yeah.
And then what we're doing is just adding a second on the loan to where then you get access to that equity or whatever you want to do with it. You want to buy a second property. Maybe that first home that you bought was your starter property, and now you're upgrading your property into something much larger now that your family has grown, or maybe parents are moving in with you, whatever the case might be. That would be an avenue to be a little more creative, to start expanding your real estate portfolio.
I want to ask you about this, Christina. Now, what I'm seeing in my Latino community, where families are joining together and buying in sets of 2, 3, and 4, family members are coming together. Are you seeing that across the board in our community, where family members are, together going in on the loan? I know I sold a property to some seniors. It was 3 family member seniors, bought a 4-bedroom home, each had their own home, and they divide the mortgage payment between 3. So again, have you been? Is that something that you're seeing on the rise?
Yes, I have. So sometimes buyers, they want to go into the transaction solo. Like, hey, Christina, I want to purchase this home by myself. And we could do that, right? I let them know, hey, this is your max buying power. Are you comfortable with how much house that's going to get you?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So let's look at some. Let's look at some alternatives when it comes towards maybe adding a co-buyer on the loan with you. So whether that's mom, that's dad, your fiance on the loan, that's going to make the difference in regards to your buying power. So now maybe instead of going to $250 or $300 range, now we get to maximize that to where we're getting a larger home to fit everybody's needs. We're looking at $500,000, maybe plus, depending on income and debt, right? Those all play a factor too.
Okay. And also I want to discuss, I met a gentleman, we were at the Raiders game, and he remembered me. I didn't remember him right away, and he was a brother to another client. What I wanted to share with many who are dealing with, you're a veteran, and you've used your DD-214 in the past. That can, in many cases, be reinstated. I know this gentleman, we were talking, and he said, hey, Deville, I want to buy a second home. He said, I like my home. He said, I just want another home, and at the end of the day, the question was, when he finally called me about a week later, I said, are you a veteran? He says, you know what, I am. He says, but I've used my DD-214 before. I said, before we go any further, contact the VA. See if you're eligible. I got an approval letter for $550,000 last week for him because he didn't know he could use his DD-214 again, although he had used it in the past. Yeah. So his next home is going to be under his VA. So to those that are listening and you've used your VA benefits in the past, don't say that you're not you can't, because in many cases you can. You want to speak a little bit on that, Christina, for us?
Yeah, so basically it's a subsequent to the VA entitlement.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to go behind it depending on the veteran's entitlement during the second use of that.
Yeah.
But in a lot of instances, and I've even closed some in my career where they initially bought a home under the VA for zero down, and then now the second home, they're also buying a home with no down payment too. But there just has to be enough entitlement left over, and the loan officer will do entitlement calculation for you, whether that's me or whomever you're partnered with. But that is definitely an avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And then VA loan.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say really quick, VA loan, they offer a lot of incentives for the veteran, right? No down payment commitment, no mortgage insurance, and a lot of times the interest rates are going to be the lowest on the market. So those that are a veteran, you definitely need to look into purchasing a property just under your VA entitlement, because you get so many perks when you do that.
Yeah. So back over to McGee. McGee, let me know, in 2026, what medical term or field or aspect in the medical would you like to see an improvement for your business? What is that you're focused on improving?
I guess one of the things that we're really focused on improving is, like I said before, just affordable healthcare. Just how do we make it how do we make it free?
Yeah. Okay.
How is it that you could go and, you can walk into a cell phone shop such as T-Mobile or Sprint.
Okay.
You can pick up a cell phone and they'll, it's easy. They'll give you a deal. They'll give you a contract.
Right.
But when it comes to your health, you go in there and they say you don't qualify for that.
Yeah.
I think we have our priorities mixed up as a generation.
Okay.
And that's just some of the things that we're looking to change. Even in evolving in our overall view of what healthcare is, it's not as important. It's not as it's a dollar amount put on it, and that's something that we really looking to change this year. Your health shouldn't be based upon what you can afford.
Yeah.
If you really want to see the distinguish between low class, middle class, and upper class, it's a complete big difference.
I know.
Especially when it comes to you trying to get, your health right.
I tried last night to apply for it, and as I got down to on the questionnaire, I realized I won't even qualify. It's so difficult now to even get some medical insurance because I had to cut it off, right? Because it was so expensive.
Right.
I just the market made me say, you got to shave here, got to shave there. I mean, I went virtual on my office, right? Because the industry in 2025 has just kind of went left on us, right?
Exactly.
So now you're doing the most important things. But I'm looking to say, okay, how can we qualify for something? You almost got to get married just to get their insurance.
That's what you do.
Well, isn't that how they come to the U.S.? They marry and then you get married.
They see, you got full benefit. Get you a good government employee.
On the hunt for somebody who won't mind, now look, not your husband for real,
Right. You stay over there.
Did we just say that on air? Did we just... At the end of it, it's just, you're finding ways to be able to be covered in the medical, man. It's crazy. Dental is, it's some things I want to do and you can't do. And, so I wanted to, I know that medical thing for you is your passion, and it's your drive, much like Christina, on the other hand, she's big on this, lending and, she likes numbers. Now I tell people when you're dealing with a realtor, we don't do numbers, right? We don't do numbers. I'll send them back to Christina. I'm like, when it comes to numbers, like, how much you think my mortgage is going to be? I said, tell you what, go back, contact Christina and find out, what that mortgage payment, tax and insurance, because that's the deal when you buy a house. Is you got tax, insurance, HOA if you get an HOA.
Right.
All those things come into account when purchasing or owning a home. You got to give account for that. In the medical industry, what would you say you have to give account for?
The cost.
The cost of it.
Everything in medical is cost. Even as providers, people don't understand that being a group that provides services for people.
Okay.
What they charge you for a piece of plastic is going to be 10 times higher.
Wow.
I'm talking about for the provider part. So say you need you want a shot.
Okay.
You would walk in and the product may have costed a penny to make, but they're going to sell it to you as an institute for $50, $100.
Oh, wow.
So at that point, we have to then in return pass that on to the insurance companies. And the insurance companies might say, no, we don't want to pay that.
Wow.
The dilemmas.
But they need it.
But the patient has to have it. And some of the issues that we deal with is just how do we regulate that? How do we control the hands in the pot?
Okay.
And that's what we're looking to do. It's just so with our pre-med project, just finding those right deals, even that we can offer people, working with the right people, working with the right Fortune 500s, or maybe not Fortune 500s, but maybe mom and pops can give better deals and just get things done a little easier. So that's what we've been really focusing on.
Okay.
And those are some of our dilemmas.
Yeah. Christina, so back to you on the veteran being reinstated. So you speaking briefly on how a lot of veterans are, there's possibly some money still left in the pot. So right now the VA benefits are up to what, $798 something? What is it? What is that up to today?
The VA benefit.
Yeah, like you got a certain amount that they limit up to, right? Is there a limit up to the VA benefits? Because you say that, depending on how much you have left that from what you've used in the past.
There's a calculation. There's a calculation. Okay. The entitlement is $36,000, but it's not a dollar for dollar. It's a calculation that we have to make on our chart. If that's what you're asking.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Speak to that.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll take into consideration how much of the benefit that you've already used. So what we'll pull is your certificate of eligibility from the VA site, and it'll tell us specifically how much entitlement that you used based on the initial purchase price that you had when you bought the home before. And then we do the calculation, and then from there I can let you know with no down payment, this is going to be your purchase price.
Okay.
Yeah, now, I'm having a little bit of echo on my side, so bear with me.
Oh, okay. So also I wanted to mention about when you have families that have some money. So the gift program, because I got an Uncle Jerry who has got, just change falling out, right? He can grant me or gift me money down toward buying without penalty to him and disclosing all his information. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Right?
Yes.
So now I got a rich Uncle Willie, got some money. And so now rich Uncle Willie can say, boy, go get you a house. Here's your down payment. Now, I need to know I'm buying a house at $400,000. I'm just using for the easy numbers, right? Easy numbers. 400,000, 3.5%, maybe that's $13,000, $15,000. Uncle Willie has $15,000 under a mattress. There was a law before that he couldn't gift it, right? But now he can gift it. Am I saying, come on, help me here?
You are. You're putting a good thing on the table right now for buyers.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is that the documents needed in order for us to approve a gift donor. So it has to be a family member or close friend, depending on the program.
Okay.
But we don't have to show donor ability.
Okay.
So that basically means that the donor doesn't need to give their base. All I need to see is that the money came from the donor's account into escrow. Okay, that's all I need to know as the lender. I don't need to know where the money came from, and my donor needs to sign the gift letter.
So they got to put it in the account. It's got to come. It's got to come from the bank. It's got to come from the bank, or can it just Uncle Willie's got it in a safe? Can he walk it to the title company?
No. It has to come from Uncle Willie's bank account to title, because we have to show a paper trail for that, right? So as long as where it originated from comes from our gift donor, Uncle Willie, to the title company, we're good to go. The lender does not need to know where Uncle Willie got that money from, right? I don't even want to know.
Okay.
I don't even want to know.
Right. Certain things we just don't disclose. Right. Okay, but again, to someone who has a family member that can be a blessing in 2026 to you, can help you get into a home. We're going to get the seller to pay the closing costs. Let's say you only need $10,500. You can get it as a gift from a family member, a close friend. They can gift you the money towards purchasing the house. My credit score does not have to be anywhere particular, maybe a 560, 580. Am I saying that correct before we go?
So as long as your minimum FICO is a 580, then you'd be subjected to the minimum down payment commitment of 3.5%. If it's anything less than that,
okay,
then you have to put a 10% down, which is still doable, but it's just going to require a larger down payment commitment if your FICO is less than 580.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So we're having some technical difficulties with our connection here, but listen, you're a wealth of knowledge. We appreciate you. You are powerful in what you do. You have been on my team for maybe 8 years now?
Yes.
And every year you get more value. Yeah, every year you get more value. So thank you for for coming on the show today. We're going to have our technical difficulty taken care of. It's on your end. Engineer said, "Don't look at me. It's on her end." So we're gonna do a test run next week. But thank you for what we did get from you. You are a source of knowledge, and thank you, Christina. Make it a great week. We got a deal closing in December, so we're real close to getting that done. Talk soon, okay? You have a great week. Everybody, Christina Graham, Barrett Financial, very smart young lady, very excited about the business. She doesn't just do lending. She loves lending. This girl could talk to you all night about programs, projects, funds that are available, and how to create a way of getting your credit where it needs to be. Christina Graham. So if you want more information, reach out to me. I'll get you her information. She is the first step to home ownership, is the lender, not Deville. You want to reach out to me and I'll contact you with her. And if you're a veteran, first-time buyer, a seasoned buyer, a veteran buyer, wanting to sell your property, it's a good time right now to get into getting into residual income. Many of you have equity in your home, and with that equity, you can utilize the equity. That's why homeownership is so important, because you can utilize equity that's in your home to, guess what? Position yourself to residual income. I purchased my home, my old, I think, 320, something like that. When I got my home appraised after some improvement, it went up to 580. And so that number right there, just owning the home for the last 9 years, there's equity in the home. What can you do with equity? Well, let's talk about that. What can you do with equity? Mark, if you had $200,000 equity in a home, what's one of the things you think you might want to do with that $200,000 that you're going to take out on the home equity line of credit?
Never buy a new wife.
I'm just comedians, boy, they good. They good.
$200,000, man. That's some pretty good money, though. You could do a lot with that.
Yeah,
you could potentially put it down for your next home.
Well,
put it down on a fourplex.
There you go.
New investments.
That's a sharp mind. Because when you talk about something, here's the thing I really would kind of frown on is another house, but investment property.
Yes,
right? Like you said, a fourplex, triplex, something that creates multi-stream income.
Exactly.
Right? Because you got to remember, on a fourplex, let's say you put 200,000. Fourplex right now run about 500,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, no,
that's really good.
Well, that's in the hood.
Fourplex?
Yeah, that's in the hood. 500 right now. See, when I was in the market, when I got in the market, fourplexes were running like 92,000, 120,000.
The good old days.
The days. Yeah, those days. Now those same fourplexes. My first fourplex I sold when I got licensed in 05. I sold in 06 at 485,000. She paid 180 for it. She made $300,000 on owning that fourplex.
That was good.
That was my first deal that I did in real estate, because I was a handyman. I used to be her handyman on the fourplex. Then she said, "I'm going to sell it." And I said, "Well, I'm a realtor now." So she let me be the opportunist, right, to sell the property.
Right.
Wonderful opportunity. Right after she sold it, the market declined in 2008. The market
right
downsized. Those units came during that time in 2008, 10, 9, 10, and 12. Those units went from 480. That thing came down to 110,000.
Oh my!
The value fell out. That's when the market flat.
So what was the residuals on it, though?
People had short sales. People were selling to get out because, they couldn't cover the cost anymore.
What about the rents, though? I mean, they had to make money in the rents, right?
Yeah, but so what people were concerned about is that I'm upside down. They were like, "Man, I'm not gonna keep pouring money into a fire pit." The market. So a lot of them just withheld payments and let the foreclosure come in on them. And they foreclosed on these properties. I sold a 3-story over there on Tropical and back in North Las Vegas. Those things they purchased at $360. I sold it for $92,000.
That was good.
Those new homes.
Which ones?
The new homes over on Tropical and Commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, back by Centennial. Yeah, they went down. That's where the market declined. Now those homes are up to 450, 480 now. Right? So if you got in at that time, you have equity. So what are you going to do with the equity? So as again, I asked, use that equity. People sitting on it, in the man who's talking about he's going to pay his house off. To me, I think just paying your house off and letting that equity sit, let that equity make money for you. So rather than pay off the mortgage, take the equity out, go put it on a fourplex.
Right.
Because I had a gentleman, he inherited 2 homes in California in the LA area. One sold for $525,000. Just one house. It was old, but it's Vegas. I mean, it was LA, right? Property value. He got that $510,000. I think he got a little bit less because he had realtor fees and escrow fees. I think he walked away about $490, something like that, whatever it was. And he said, Deville, I want to buy a fourplex here in Vegas, right? He lived here, but the property came from there. So one of the houses he was able to walk with about $490, and he said, I want to buy a fourplex. And I said, well, rather than buy a house, why don't you get residual income? So he went to the bank, and this fourplex at that time was $310,000. And I said, well, he said, is that a good investment? I said, well, here, let's do this. Go to the bank and tell them you like to put $310,000 into an account that will bear interest, right? He said they would offer him about maybe $210 a month, $200 a month.
That's something.
Yeah, right. But that's what the banks were offering. That was long term, leaving your money in there long term. I said, well, this fourplex for $310, its residual income is at $320,000, $3,200 a month. So going to the bank, putting $310 in the bank, getting you $210, or putting it into a fourplex that was getting you $3,800.
Right.
Guess what he purchased?
The fourplex.
The fourplex.
It made sense.
It made sense. So rather than sitting your money in the bank, sitting in property. And now that same fourplex that he paid $310 is worth $685. So not only was he getting every month, he's getting that $3,800,
right?
And then he's getting the equity over the course of, man, that was at least 12 years ago. He just texted me for Thanksgiving, said, man, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
No, I would text you too and tell you that.
Because you're living well,
right?
Comfortably. I mean, paid cash for the units, right?
Right.
You can live in one of the units. I think he and his wife occupied the 3-bedroom that was, it was right near UNLV.
Okay.
So we had college students renting the units. You know, I think he took the bigger of the units, and he lives there. No mortgage. You know, the other units pay the mortgage.
Pay for everything.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a mortgage. He paid cash for it. But I'm saying he's getting that money every month by just staying home. And now you have the equity. And that's why it's so important, everybody, that you get into real estate, because if you're going to pay rent 5 years somewhere and the property's gaining value, you're paying it. You're gaining the value for the owner. So what sense does it make? And now with this new program, as Christina and I were speaking on, is that you can have a family member gift you the money. Now, when we say gift, they're going to sign a form that it's a gift. It's not a repayment. So if you got a family member who can say, man, I could give you $15,000 or $18,000, guess what? That's a benefit on your part. Now I'm going to get the closing costs covered, which is 3% of the purchase. So with that being said, I mean, it's a great opportunity. Right. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
That the family doesn't have to give account where the money came from. It just had to be in the bank, and he just can't give it to you. They have to give it
directly to the bank,
to the title
escrow.
Right. Yeah, has to give it directly to title, sit that money there, and then I'm going to negotiate the closing cost. We're closing the deal, Christine and I think it's next week. She was able to get it with no money down, and the seller's paying 90% of her closing costs. So she's literally getting the house for $1,000. And not only that, but she's getting the house that she once lived in. She had to move out about 3 months ago because they had a flood. And so she heard me on the radio. That's why I keep doing radio. She heard me on the radio. I said, have you heard me before? She said, I've been listening to you for years. It just never rung to her like that until she had to move out of that property. Then she said, well, I think I'm living with my dad. I think I want to go ahead and let's purchase. She said no money down. And she had the credit score, gave it to Christina. Right. She got approved. And just so as we're searching for homes, now that had been about 3 months ago that home she lived in got this, now it's been restored and upgraded. Mm-hmm. It came back on the market. It came on the market. She didn't, we looking at the home. She said, Mr. Deville, the house I used to live in is up for sale. They totally rehabbed the house. And I said, would you like to live where you used to live? She said, I would love to live where I used to live, because she said, I know all the neighbors.
That's awesome.
It was in her loan approval amount. I was able to speak to the seller and negotiate the closing costs. So she's only coming like $1,000.
So that's the dream.
Yeah, right. But this is the kind of stuff when you reach out to a realtor. And let's talk about some of the benefits that are available. Right. People procrastinate and sit on it and say, I'm waiting on the Lord to bless me. And God said, I'm waiting on you to make the call to Greg Deville and let him get you pre-approved with Christina or one of the other 9 lenders. You know, I don't have to steer you to a lender. You can go to your credit union. You can go to your bank. You can go to your uncle, your auntie, your rich mama or daddy. But get 2026. Let 2026 be your year. I'm speaking to you directly. Let 2026 be your year to stop paying that man's mortgage. I got another client. Their landlord is going to be selling the house. They got to move. Problem is they have no money saved up. But they got a nice closet full of attire. They look good. They look like money. They ride nice. But they rent. And now the landlord is selling the property. What are you going to do? You don't have the credit because why? You've been enjoying life. You ain't really been taken care of. You just thought it was going to be forever. I just want to talk to somebody today that we can help you in 2026. Let's get the credit where it needs to be. Let's look at, getting some of the programs that are available. If you got a 401k on your job, don't forget you have the opportunity to use the 401k. You only need about $15,000 in that 401k. As low as $10,500. That's a $300,000 house. I mean, right now, North Las Vegas has homes. I mean, starter homes. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not chasing money chasing me. I just want to see people get into home ownership. That's imperative for me. It's to help you get started. Now, guess what? You'd be like the man on Thanksgiving. I sold him that property 12 years ago, Mark McGee.
How's the deal?
2 years ago. And today he's still living on that. He got great equity. He's making money on the property, living rent free. All because we talked about just contacting the bank, using your equity wisely, using your down payment, using your money, your cash money wisely. To those of you got a job, you only have to have minimal 2 years, even though you transferred from somewhere else, minimal 2 years. Okay. Look, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you every Wednesday at high noon. Greg Deville, the wealth builder for Las Vegas. We're here talking real estate, wealth, and we have different guests come on. Mr. McGee today was talking about, health and the benefits that, we're aspiring to for 2026. Is that right?
Yes.
We have hope and expectation. So in your closing remark, give me your closing remark.
If you guys need help with real estate, Deville is the man. If you need help with medical and you're interested in anything that I've spoken today, you can check us out at getpremed.com.
Getpremed.com. There you go. Good stuff. Well, Las Vegas, I'm out of time, certainly not out of information. I want to thank you for tuning in. And until we speak next time, may God's best be yours. Take care.
Jones. Hey, Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams, and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help.